This is an audio description of a statue called the Good Shepherd, which dates from around 1600. It was made in either Sri Lanka or Goa, although the name of the maker is currently unknown. Carved in shimmering rock crystal with additional gold, rubies and sapphires, this tiny, precious little statue of the Good Shepherd, which is nearly 13 centimetres in height and 5 centimetres wide, is small enough to hold in the hand. The figure of Christ as the Good Shepherd traditionally symbolises his care for and guidance of his flock. It belongs with a small group of rock crystal figures of Christ as a child, produced in Goa and Ceylon, now Sri Lanka, in the 16th century and early 17th centuries. The theme of the Good Shepherd was introduced there by missionaries who accompanied Portuguese traders. The figure appealed to local people who were accustomed to similar images of the Buddha seated cross-legged. This familiarity helped to convert the people to Christianity, but the opulence and grandeur of the little statues may also have played a part. The Good Shepherd sits cross-legged, on a tiny cushion placed on a square pedestal whose 4 tiers rise like steps. He is slightly hunched over, with his head lowered, as if feeling the weight of the tiny lamb on his shoulder. A second lamb sits on his knee. One of the shepherd's feet is tucked up. The other protrudes down over the cushion in the top tier of the pedestal. The cushion appears well padded, with a jewelled gold band around it to look like braid. A plump gold tassel hangs at each corner. The pedestal is also decorated with bands of gold and jewels, and its feet are crystal spheres, each with a small gold dowel seemingly captured inside it, as if in a bubble. The shepherd is far from the gentle, bearded figure of much later images of Christ. He has broad, chiselled cheeks, a wide nose and a small chin. His eyes appear half closed, and his mouth is slightly open in a stiff half smile. His limbs are rounded and smooth, but strong, the large hands clearly delineated but without details of knuckles or nails. This is an image of a rough working man, made radiant by the exquisite detail of the sculpture and decoration. His hair is like a stylized helmet. It waves in sharp curves around his forehead, hangs from the crown of his head in a series of sculptural leaf shapes down to his neck, parting at the sides to reveal large ears. His right hand cradles his cheek, the other holds the lamb huddled up on his knee. The fingers are flattened to press the little creature close against him. The lamb on his shoulder brushes against his neck. There is no cuteness about these animals. They are scrawny, with drooping ears, and their mouths are open, showing sharp little crystal teeth as they bleat. There are tiny versions of the leaf shapes of the shepherd's hair on either side of their backs to represent wool, and they have a stubby little tail behind them. In contrast to the workaday looks, the shepherd is dressed very opulently. He wears a coat made of fine, gold mesh like fishing net, with the crystal of his form gleaming through the diamond-shaped spaces between the threads. These threads appear twisted, like fine cord, and they are relaxed, as cord would be if laid over fabric. The coat has short sleeves and a bell-shaped skirt that reaches the tops of his thighs. It has a collar and belt made of gold decorated with rubies, and braid-like bands of gold and rubies at the edge of the sleeves and the hem. This bottom band stands out slightly as if a hoop is inserted inside. It is attached to the coat by a series of small gold clips. Down the front of the garment is a further gold and ruby braid that meets the belt at the waist in an elaborate gold buckle with a spray of rubies. The braid then divides and runs down to join the band at the hem. On his feet, the shepherd wears sandals, bands of gold decorated with rubies over the insteps, making them look heavy and cumbersome. Under his right arm is a crystal gourd, suspended from his belt on twisted gold cord, and beside it, hanging from a clip, is an ornate oval-shaped object, perhaps a purse. Tiny works of art in rock crystal were desirable collector's items in Renaissance Kunstkammern, or cabinets of curiosity. These were princely collections of treasures of all kinds, which in the 19th century Sir Richard Wallace aspired to evoke. The skill and artistry of this little statue would have held pride of place in a 17th century Kunstkammer, as it does in the Wallace collection today.